Okay, wonderful. So, hello, gentlemen. How are you today?
Thank you.
All good?
All good.
Wonderful.
All good.
Okay, so let's get started. So, why are we here? Okay, so we are J&C Aero. Okay, we are one of the world's leading carbon interior hub companies. Okay, and I think that we can all agree that we have had a wonderful 2025.
Absolutely.
Okay, just before we started today's podcast, I took down some notes. So as I can see here, 49% revenue growth, which is amazing, by the way. 2,000 orders, as far as I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, which is fantastic. And 25% increase in your team, in your expert team size as well. So a lot of growth happening in 2025. So I think the first thing that I would want to do would be just to ask you about your big takeaway from this year. So,
Of course.
moving to you first, Vitalijus.
So basically, when you talk about aviation, I think every time is about capacity. Well, growth 39% is perfect, basically. It's really nice results, but you need to have capacity for that.
Of course, yeah.
So we just moved 2 years ago. We moved to a new facility, 3,600 square meters.
Wow.
And this year we already doubled. Basically, we are not fitting in. So we added additional 3,600 square meters of additional premises, and we're already booked. So that's the most important thing in aviation, basically. What started to happening in 2021 during the COVID, basically, when everything dropped. People understood that it will have to pick up. The demand will grow, basically, and it will be like a string popping up, basically. So we identified it in 2021, and everything what we did, starting from that date, we're thinking about growth and capacity, and we are not stopping in 2026. I think we will grow more.
I think that's a fantastic and compelling narrative of growth. What else could you add to this story, Maksim?
I would say that in addition to my colleague response, the real growth as well is driven by the team strength. And the collaboration between the department is the main of the goals for the 2025 and 2026 as well.
Okay.
So finding the right ingredients for the team, meaning that having the right balance of the resource between the experts and specialists to work successfully, to collaborate. That is one of the key takeaways for the 2025 from my side.
Wonderful, excellent. So we've seen strategy, we've seen team growth. Now moving on to you, Laurynas, maybe you want to talk a little bit more about what I see to be one of the greatest strengths that your company has, which is creativity.
Yeah, creativity, and I would like to come from that side as a reflection. What is the first? Is it the chicken or egg? Coming from that side, so the growth, who gives you growth? Is it the customers and product, or is it the company with the people and let's say buildings? So from my side, I always would like to start from the customer side. So I'm happy to know that we increased the capacity and quantity from the side of the customers, different regions and different interesting project comes into the company. So that reflects to us to grow the company from the side of the people, machinery, buildings, some warehouses, and thousands of the parts in our warehouses. So,
can I just ask one other
please.
question in relation to this? So, what is it that you think draws these customers to your company?
Yeah, I think that that's how you started to ask me about the creativity. Definitely. I'm always like to say that we are the company who comes out of the box. I do not like to feel being the typical thinking guy, or let's say typical making guy. So that's how we see the different corners, the different solution brings us into the customer with the interesting projects, with the interesting shape, with the kind of boundaries how we are setting our companies, that we are looking to bring more than the customers asking us. So we like to do that. So it's about the creativity, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It kind of, for me, it's like most companies say that they will give an extra mile. For me, when I think about you guys, it's like that's your starting point. You start at an extra mile and then you get more.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's easy to make, it's nice, and we are really happy to have possibility to make like this. So
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Excellent, guys. So as we've already said, 2025, very interesting year, both for your company and for the aviation industry in general. Lot of changes happening, a lot of bottlenecks, as I think we can all agree. So what I was thinking we could do now would be just to analyze those trends a little bit. So I'd like to start with you, Maksim. What do you think was the most significant trend of last year?
Yeah, from my point of view, the most significant trends was the cabin interior segmentation. Why we haven't seen it so far in 2024, and we can really see the quite a big growing number of the cabin interior segments comparing to previous year. What does it mean for us? That the passengers are looking for new experience. The passengers are having a higher expectation from the airlines, and that's how the cabin started to have more classes. As example, the Airbus A320 nowadays more than 800 airplanes having 3 classes or more.
Okay.
This is really a big shift comparing with the last year, and that's what we feel at J&C Aero as well.
Okay, so this segmentation is obviously going to impact how you design and think about the interior itself.
Absolutely. The customers are looking for the flexibility in their cabin to have more options, more segments to propose to their customer.
Okay, fantastic. So I'd like to now move on to you, Vitalijus. What did you identify as one of your big trends for last year?
We're talking about trends globally, but we can talk about trends in Europe, for example. Basically.
Oh, cool.
So classes, that's very important. But even Europe now has his own class. It's called European Business Class. Because in the US, it's always classes. Premium, business, economy.
I'm always in economy.
Yeah, but if you're flying in Europe, it's usually always economy.
That's
basically.
true.
It's short-term flights, 4 hours at least, basically. But now our customers, airlines, identified that Europe also needs a business class, and they needed flexible one. So basically, when you don't need to sell only 4 business class tickets. Maybe sometimes you want to sell 8. Sometimes maybe you want to sell 12.
Right.
Basically, and you need to innovate with products to allow them to do that. And what we did, we introduced movable class dividers. It's like a divider, but cabin attendants can change the position of the divider after the flight. So for example, you book a flight from Warsaw to Dubai and sold 6 business class tickets. On the way around, maybe you sold 14. So basically what you do, you just move the movable class divider to that position. Then you have bigger business class, and you serve the needed amenities, let's call it that way, for your business class passengers.
Perfect, simple, yet ingenious.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very creative solution. So that now now I'll turn to you, Laurynas. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've heard from Maksim here, we've heard from Vitalijus. So from your perspective, what was the trend that you identified?
No, I just would like to say and start that I'm very happy to have possibility to work in a type of our company who creating. So I say that it's about the creation. What does it mean, creation? Creation, it means that in nowadays, what we found from the customer side, they have their own company philosophy. For us, it means that it is identity or identification. Everybody wants to be something special, you know. So if I'm telling about one company or another company, so how they would like to be identify who they are in the market? Is it big company, white, black, fast, flying, expensive, or whatever. So that identification for us brings the creativity. It means that I want to recognize you in the market, that you are a red airlines company, that you are superb in the interior, that you are special in the seat comfortable, let's say, side. And for us, it brings the creativity first, the second, the reflection which comes into the product, services we're delivering to these companies. And that means that I, as a company, become into the market and my world something special, being a special. So that's for me brings, very good feeling to be the part of this creation. So
Yeah, because then what happens is you become a close creative partner in how the company understands and shows its brand.
Yeah,
and how
absolutely.
the customer actually directly experiences
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
brand.
Just a little bit from that point of if I'm the customer coming into your airline or into your aircraft, probably I'm not so much interested into the engines, because it's not the case where I can change it or where I can make it a little bit more comfort from that side to you. But what I can do and what we are doing, it's about the interior. When you come into, you can feel the smell, you can see the colors, you can see the soft seats or whatever, or even, let's say, the food, what is comes to you sitting into your seat. So it's something what we can create.
So yeah, absolutely. So basically, you guys are like the architect stroke curators of the experience that
Yes.
the flyer has.
And this sounds and call for me like identity.
100%. 100%. Okay, so we've thought a little bit about the trends, and we've also thought about maybe we started to talk about how the company responded to those trends. Gentlemen, do you want to talk a little bit about how your company responded to the trends that you've just discussed?
Yeah, I can continue because
Okay,
I
no
already
problem.
started from that side. It's the part of my story of this identity. So, Laurynas, how you see the future or the vision or mission of your company for the future, where you would like to go or what you would like to achieve? So my vision, and hope together with my colleagues, the vision is the same. We would like to change the cabin, interior cabin, to make it different. What does it mean? From one side of the words, it can feel like at home. Come into the aircraft. Not anymore the white color as being in the hospital, all the walls is in the white. Let's make it different. Let's make it colorful, not boring. Let's make it touchable. If, let's say, some of the people are stressful in the flight, so they can touch some of the parts to minimize them stress or whatever. So, and yes, that differences which we can create into the cabin, that brings, let's say, the future or tomorrow of the comfort from the customer side.
Okay, perfect. Gentlemen, anything that you want to add?
Yeah, how we call it the touch of difference in your cabin. And for example, we're engineering team. Theoretically, we need to hire engineers, from technical universities.
Of course.
But sometimes we do it a bit differently. For example, we're taking people from University of Art of Vilnius, because we need to add this.
That touch of creativity that we were talking about,
basically, because previously smaller companies, the innovation only is allowable with big companies, basically. Smaller companies would not allow it to do it, but we wanted to change it, basically.
Wonderful.
We think that the smaller company needs to innovate, needs to create, and that's the growth fundamental of all of the euro, basically. And that trend should be switched.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic. Again, coming back to this idea that you guys are thinking differently. You're thinking creatively, you're thinking on your feet. Anything you want to give, Maksim, to this?
I would say that it's really our thought that we always concentrate not only on the short term, vision, but looking on the long terms as well. And we're trying to find out this balance between what today our customer is looking on for the cabin interiors, as well as fundamentally change the cabin interior concept. One of the examples, we are continuing working on one of the innovations called Jump Seat Duo, the seat that combines a cabinet and a seat and wheelchair in one. So it's already reached quite a level where the product is almost certified. All the critical tests is already done and passed. But in parallel, this year we are presented at the Crystal Cabin Award. This is the award that is known in the aviation industry, one of similarities to Oscar. We are presenting our 3 new products, and one of the concepts that I would like to highlight, this is, we call it as a Mac Flight. This is the concept where we are highlighting the issues in the cabin where the passenger is stuck in the aisle when the trolley, by block trolley, where
my God, we've all been there.
everyone was there.
Yeah, stuck behind the trolley for the whole flight.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You only get to the bathroom when you get to London.
And we're trying to react on this. We're trying, and it's quite a multiple factor that will improve the cabin experience if the passenger can get their catering, their ordered food to their place without any interfere with the cabin crew and the trolley. So we have presented this concept, this idea, have quite a good background in terms of the certification delivery. So we are trying to look on this. We're trying to propose to the airlines, to the industry, how we can react differently on this. So we're waiting a lot for the April, where the Crystal Cabin will happen, and looking forward to hear the feedback.
Now, there's one other subject I'd like to touch on a little bit. And it is this concept, now you guys might need to clarify this a little bit for me, but this concept of green aircraft that's being introduced, I think, by Airbus.
Yeah.
Could you explain that a little bit for me?
Yeah, it's the capacity constraints of the suppliers, of the big OEM suppliers. So now we see the trend that Airbus and Boeing are finally allowed to increase the production rates, basically. They will be delivering more and more aircrafts on the market. But sometimes, when you have a lot of parts which need to be built into the aircraft, and the cabin usually is the last stage, basically. You start with engines, landing gears, airframes, and then you go to the cabin. And Airbus trying to find a solution and switch to shorten the lead times. And they are giving customers the opportunity to take the aircraft, airframe, engines, landing gears, operational aircraft, but fully without cabin. So it's called green cabin concept.
Green cabin concept. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah. And here's the opportunity down here, basically. So we have a lot of tear downs. Yeah, old aircrafts are being scrapped, basically. And how the market responds to it, the businesses, they only take the parts which are high value. So they rip off the engines, they take out the landing gears, APUs.
Even the chairs and all of the...
rotables. They don't touch it, they scrap it. That's the case.
Gosh.
And that's a mistake in our vision, basically.
Oh, massively
so. It's assets, basically. And we identified it for years. And we're buying all the interiors from the teardowns. For example, right now we secured purchase of the full cabins of 5 A320s Neos, which are only 4 years old. So if you have a capacity constraint in the production, you cannot get lavatory, you cannot get galley from OEM, or the lead time is 2 to 3 years. Why not take it from the stock? Available at GC. It's available, basically. We can relaminate
So you guys could basically literally a one-stop shop for a cabin.
Of course.
From design to integration, implementation, all of the parts even you have.
And we can add that touch of difference to those elements, basically.
Well, this is what I'm hearing from what Laurynas was saying.
Yeah, you can change the laminates, you can change the color scheme, you can brand it as long as you want, basically. The frames is there, basically, and it's only creativity left. And it's available, no lead times.
Okay, so
same good as new.
Same good as new, yeah.
Perfect.
And I also want to add one thing that we do not need to forget being the part of the industry. Except of the creation, being the part of the industry, for us it means our responsibility in front of our customers and people to whom we are bringing this possibility to flight and to have this comfort on the aircraft. I'm talking about these people who requires the special support, and I'm talking about the people with a reduced mobility. So I'm happy to say that our first company developed the solution for the people with a reduced mobility to have possibility to flight being in the aircraft, because they do not have that possibility to flight and to feel comfortable being on the aircraft. So with this solution, where Maksim has already a little bit touched, saying that we have the product which is called Dual Seat, where is the attendant seat combined together with the wheelchair. So it is once again, it is our responsibility, being the part of the industry, to make the things happen. In this moment, it means that we should bring to everybody possibility to have possibility to fly.
Exactly. And not only to fly, but to have a comfortable flight.
And it's not always about it's not about always the colors and nice looking and something special feeling in the aircraft. It's something sometimes where you must to do that to make the things happen for everybody have possibility to make it.
I think this is a really great point. I think that what you've touched on thus far is how seriously as a company you take sustainability, because that's what we're talking about, especially if it's the reuse of parts, but also how seriously you're taking your responsibility to the consumer and giving people the opportunity.
Absolutely.
So you are people first.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with that the company is people first?
Absolutely.
Okay, right. So I think we can say that that's enough for 2025, and we can also give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back in relation to what we managed to achieve in this year. For 2026, for the future, what are your predictions? I'm going to start this time with Laurynas. Okay, I'm going to start with you here. What's your prediction for 2026?
Yeah,
and beyond.
Yeah, so I see. I would like to come maybe from the point of our company. What do we had in 25? A big grow, nice grow, and so on. So I see from my side the vision in 26, where I would like to that the company will go. So except of the services we provide, except of the things what we are doing. For me, it's interesting to go into the products, what we are creating. And we created in 25. So I would like to wish to the team and to myself that this creation, that this, let's say, mindset and interesting things and different corners or whatever, it will come for us and brings in 26 more interesting products into the aviation business. Why about the products? Knowing the aviation industry, where the new products and the new ideas comes very slow, and it takes a long time with a lot of the things, testing, whatever it is required, engineering and blah, blah. So that's what I would like to wish, that these changes and effect will come into the aviation industry more faster. So products creation and let's say them in implementation or whatever, approval or whatever it's required. So
some extra speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Changes and extra speed.
Yes.
Max.
Okay, Maksim.
Yeah, from my point of view, it's in addition to Laurynas, I would say that we're looking on the global footprint. Our product is already flying all over the world. Even in 2025, we have secured quite an interesting contract in different regions, and not only in the Europe. And this demand is growing. So we will keep concentrating on this. And what is the main driving factor? It's our team, our people. That I would like to highlight that it's really here in Lithuania we're having a lot of talents who can create this global footprint all over the world. We are very motivated. We're having great engineers and great researchers. So I would like to wish us to continue this path, and 2026 to have more Lithuanian flags all over the world.
That's fantastic. I think we can all give the team a round of applause. Yeah?
Thank
you.
Okay, so moving on to you now, Vitalijus.
Yeah, I think what I would want to see in 2026, I want to see our Jump Sea Duo already airborne, because as Maksim mentioned, we're almost there basically, final tests. And I think finally people will have this opportunity to fly on the aircraft so in more comfortable way. Basically, that's important. We've been developing it for 4 years, I think,
4
right
years,
now,
yeah.
for the concept, yeah. And I think 2026 will be the break year, where those parts it will come airborne. On the other hand, as Maksim also told, the geographical expansion.
Yes.
We're really known in the European market, basically, but globally, we will expand. I think you will see more of not Lithuanian flags, J&C Aero flags.
I love it.
In Asia market, US, Middle East, we're just thinking which will be the first.
Onwards and upwards. Okay, so a very positive, optimistic story of growth, but not just growth for the sake of growth, also growth to accelerate the industry, to bring forward new ideas, and to make aviation more inclusive, which I think is a fantastic way to summarize and end today. So thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.